Hello there, everyone. First things first, I just want to say I'm sorry for not posting that many things. Lately, I've been just posting things related to like swords or this thing right here. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm mostly focusing on myself and having fun. But I'm trying to actually think of stories for my Gotcha Life series, and I'm trying to get back into the VR things. So I'm sorry to let you guys and leave you guys hanging with no content that you actually enjoy. So I'm sorry, guys. But I'm trying to give you more content. I'm sorry, and yeah, I'm just gonna tell you some more custom characters. Warning: most of these are from more newer games, so if you don't really like them, I'm sorry, but I actually thought they were pretty cool to add, and yeah. Anyways, let's move into this. First up is the Corrupted Cultist. This is one of the two cultists you can find in 99 Nights in the Forest. If you haven't seen the animations they made, you can actually tell that the brown cultists and the red cultists are actually very good friends and have been hanging out through every single update. No matter what happened, they have always stick together and they have always been good friends, joking around and everything. But this is where I tell the story of how they ended up here. Um, in one of the updates, they were recording for the next thing, the animal thing. They were actually experimenting with new animals to be added, like a deer, without the whole monster vibe. But instead of creating a new animal for the game, they created another deer god thing, and it possessed the brown cultist. Instead of turning him into a monster like the deer, it just turned him insane. Instead of actually speaking, he just made deer noises and just went on a rampage, killing every cultist, every player, and not even sparing the children. Every time the world reset, he just kept on going on another rampage. Not even the players were safe. No one was safe. His friend tried to reason with him, tried to convince him that this wasn't him. But after all of that, he was only able to speak one word. I'm sorry. I can't control myself. Over and over, this kept happening until the god of Forsaken noticed this. He noticed this breaking scene in the world. So, as a nice gesture of both him and the world of 99 Nights in the Forest, he stole this infected cultist and also took his friend as well to see if he can actually turn them back and actually send them back into their own world. But after everything, they were still never able to get this dear soul out of the cultist. And this is why he's a killer. I hope you guys actually think this killer and origin story is actually very good, because there's 3 more characters evolving, 99 Nights in the Forest. I'm not going to be adding any others because I feel like if I add too many present day things, it won't really, be that cool to acknowledge the past and stuff. So let's talk about the moveset now. First things first, his normal attacking move is just a normal slash with that, spear on the back of on his back. He has a long-range bow and arrow. He's able to shoot survivors and actually make them bleed out and makes them lose more damage, like a poison effect. And he's also able to use a ram ability, allows him to run faster and actually run into the survivors to actually push them back into a wall. And it's kind of similar to the Cool Kid and Noli Rush things, but you can actually move around, and it actually has a cooldown of how long it lasts, and it doesn't stop working after you run into a wall or something. And it's way easier to control. It's just like you have a speed boost with your controllers. that there's no stick drift or anything. It's just a speed boost, and you get to run into the players. But since these abilities are actually a little bit too good, that's the only abilities they really have. But there's also one other ability that I thought would be good. It's a Screech ability. It allows the killer to actually see the closest survivor and the farthest survivor in the map, and it paralyzes the survivors he can't see and makes them dazed and confused and jumble their controls. And I thought that would be a bit interesting to do, and it will be kind of cool because it doesn't really show all of them, but it does infect all of them. So if you don't get dazed and confused when you hear this screech, you are in danger or very far away from the killer. So just know this. And yeah, that's basically it. Next up is a survivor. Next up is the red cultist. He is a survivor. Just like in the brown cultist, the same thing happened. Basically the same story. His friend got infected with a soul of a deer. He couldn't stop him, and after all the time loops, he kept on getting more injuries, so he needed to keep on bandaging himself, but some he wasn't able to bandage up. Eventually, he was able to convince the pelt trader to give him a weapon to try to stop his friend, because he destroyed all the cultist weapons that the cultist was using to try to kill the players. And eventually, he got sucked into the world, confused of why he was in a new place that wasn't in the forest, and after he was told by the other survivors there that they were trapped there because of dark backstories, he knew his friend was here too, because his story is his friend's story, and they can never be separated, even if they're on the opposite sides. After that, he kept on working with the other survivors to try to survive longer, eventually meeting Two Time, that I hate. Jeez, I hate Two Time. And he actually started arguing with Two Time about which cultist or Arisen is actually better, the deer or the Levi thing. Eventually, this leaded to a rivalry, but actually, when they're closer together around the killer, their cooldowns actually go down faster. So that's a cool little thing to connect them. And also, he also has a voice line whenever he hits the infected cultist, specifically. It actually goes as, "I'm sorry, friend. I have to do this. You'll thank me for this later." And it's actually pretty cool because it doesn't work with other things. I'm planning to actually combine this with other connected survivors and killers. Add voice lines for when they attack each other. So, yeah, I think there will be a pretty cool mechanic to add in. And, yeah, his attacks, well, not attacks, his moveset is just a normal slash with the spear. He can also throw his spear, but he actually needs to run around the map to try to find it again after he throws it. And his normal melee attack for the spear actually goes missing until he gets his spear back. So I think that's a cool little mechanic for it. And also, he has less health than normal survivors because he's already very beat up. So he's more like a 80% health. But for a bit of a fix for that, he actually has more speed. When he actually heals himself with a bandage, or when he uses his other ability, Pizza. He actually in a bit of an origin, Elliot actually gave him pizza because he actually gets more hungry than the rest of the people in the actual area in Forsaken. So he just has his own pizza stock inside his back pocket. And he actually uses this pizza to actually get him more speed, to actually help him out. So when he eats or heals himself, he gets more speed because I thought that would be a more interesting mechanic because of 99 nights in the forest when you need to eat to actually keep your hunger up, and when you run faster, your speed actually goes down in 90 nights in the forest. So I thought that would be a nice little connection. And these abilities are pretty good, but I think they balance themselves out together. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next up is Cherry. I think that's her name. This is also one of Ethelbot's friends. She's a survivor. After Ethelbot went missing in the servers, she started using her commands to try to find him, eventually using the /teleport command to try to go to him. Eventually, she lost her commands and teleported to the survivor area. Confused and why she was in Roblox instead of Minecraft, she asked the other players, realizing they're not players, they're Forsaken. And she realized that she became Forsaken as well. Eventually, in one of the rounds, she realized all of her abilities and what she can do. Eventually, she noticed that Ethelbot was the killer, not as one of the playable killers, but himself with his own abilities. She tried to go up to him to try to ask him what was going on, but as soon as he saw her, he flipped out and tried to kill her. Eventually, she had no choice but to try to ban him with her ban hammer, but instead of banning him, it just stunned him. And with nothing else to do, she just ran and tried to survive the round. Eventually, she did, and she asked the survivors what was going on and why Ethelbot was a killer. Eventually, she got told the story of why all of them are there and why he's a killer, realizing that he thought that none of them cared about him and was just keeping him around for to bully him. Realizing this, she felt heartbroken, thinking that they were all great friends that were just playing around. But after looking back, she realized that they did bully him. Feeling guilty, she stopped trying to actually take command and tried to reason with Etho every time she tried to defend herself from Ethelbot, actually having a voice line whenever she hits him with her stun ability. But I'll tell you that when I tell you their abilities. And after that, nothing else really happens. She doesn't make any connection with any survivors or killers. She just tries to reason with Ethelbot to try to bring him back to the good side. And now it's time for her abilities. Her first ability is Teleport. She can bring out an admin panel to actually teleport away, similar to 007, but it's much faster, and she can only teleport to survivors that are close by or generators, but she can only choose one at a time. Next up is her Banhammer attack. She can use this to stun the killer, and since she's an admin, she can actually change how big this stun ability is. So it might be smaller, it might be bigger, but it depends of how long the timer is. Like if it's on like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, it will just be a normal hitbox. But if it's down to 1 minute, it can reach out farther out, similar to how the Slasher or Jason's hitbox was insanely good for some reason. So it's similar to that. And there's also one more ability, quick step. There we go. It helps her run faster. It's similar to a speed potion in Minecraft, but instead of actually throwing a potion, she just used the command to actually give effect. But it doesn't last that long because, well, the Forsaken Gods doesn't like her being so OP. And that's basically it. Now to tell you her voice line for whenever she hits Ethelbot. Quote, voice line. Etho, you have to snap out of it. We're still your friends. And unquote the whole thing. That's basically her whole voice line whenever she hits Etho with the banhammer attack. And yeah, I think this is a pretty cool character to connect to Etho. I was thinking either Daisy or Cherry or something. Not Cherry, Chloe. Or possibly Finn, but I thought not Chloe. I keep mixing up the names. Cherry wasn't really that much of a good friend to Etho, always bullying him with her admin commands and stuff. So I thought it would be nice to give her some of a rain check of what she's been doing. Anyways, let's move on to the next character. Next up is the Panda Girl. This is also from 99 Nights in the Forest. But basically, her story is a bit different from the cultist. You know how she's the hardest one to actually get in the not out of the 4 kids? Well, that's actually what I thought could be used for how she was, well, forsaken. Anyways, moving on to the story. You know how every single kid always gets saved? Mostly Dino Kid and Squid Kid. Well, Kraken Kid almost gets saved every time, but the Panda Girl, she never gets saved that much. Unless there's very good pros, she never gets saved. So most of the time, she's always just sitting in the corner of her room, waiting and panicking. And since she's so young, she doesn't know what to do. She's just panicking all the time. Eventually, she just said, "I'm forsaken in here." Eventually, the Forsaken God noticed this and looked back in her backstory, noticing how she only gets saved a few times in this world. Thinking there was a perfect opportunity to just snatch her, he did. Eventually, she grew up a bit taller. Instead of being a tiny little kid, she looked around her surroundings, noticing that she wasn't in her room anymore. She was awake, out of the forest, somewhere else in the world. Eventually, the other survivors told her what they are. Eventually, she realized she wasn't saved. She was even deeper in the Forsaken world. Eventually, she got pushed into a round. Seeing one of the cultists, she panicked. Again and again, the cultists kept on finding her. Every time, they screeched like the deer that trapped her in that room. Every time she panicked. But eventually, when she was about to get killed by the infected cultists, the other cultists stunned them, telling the kid to run and get out of there. But when she did, she turned back, noticing that the other cultists got killed. Confused of why the cultists were fighting each other, she just ran and hid in the corner, not being found because of one of her abilities. Eventually, the other cultist that saved her told her what happened and what his backstory is, telling her that he'll keep her safe until they can get out of here, and actually get her out of the forest when they get back. Trusting the cultist from saving her life, she chose to actually stick around him, so she will actually spawn closer to this cultist, and her cooldowns will actually go down faster when she's around this cultist. So it's better off to stick with the cultists if you see them when you're this character. Anyways, her connections with the other characters are limited, but they see 007 as a father figure, since her father was a bit, well, not nice, to say the least. As well as another survivor that came after her, that she also sees as a father figure. But we'll get back to that one. Anyways, her movesets. You might not know this, but the koala are actually good at climbing, if you don't already know that. So I thought her moveset could be she can actually climb high places instead of using stairs or anything. She can actually climb up walls to get out of sticky situations, like to actually get away. So instead of actually walking upstairs to get to the giant tower, she can actually just climb on the back of it. But you have to actually click on a button to actually be able to climb the thing. Each time, similar to how the in the Squid Game thing, you need to actually click buttons to actually be able to choke out the player. Similar to that. Her second ability is sit down, is related to sitting down in the corner, like I said earlier, and it actually helps her go in bit invisible. And when she's in the corner, she actually becomes more invisible, and when she's not, she's a bit more visible. And her third ability is just a dash. similar to how Elliot and a couple other characters have a dash. She has a dash as well. And also, her health is way lower than other survivors because she's just a kid. And along with her stamina is a bit lower as well. Since she's a kid, she isn't really good to actually play as. But if you are a tryhard and want to actually play as her, go right ahead. I will not judge you at all. I just thought this would be good for lore purposes. And yeah. Anyways, that's basically it for her. Let's move on. Next up is another survivor. You might be wondering, wait, hold on, isn't this another 99 Nights character? Because you've been doing a lot of those lately. And this actually looks like the owl if I think about it. Well, you'll be correct if you say that. This is the owl from 99 Nights in the Forest. But this will be the last one because I don't feel like doing that many new games in Forsaken. Well, not in Forsaken, in Roblox. But their story is, after the volcanic update, the snow biome got deleted temporarily. Along with that, so did they. And when that happened, Forsaken thought this was the perfect moment to snatch them up for themselves. So they did. Instead of being a monster, they got turned into more of a playable character. That when they snatched them up. As disappointing as it was, they turned them into a survivor because they weren't a monster like for a killer. Seeing all the people there, they were confused and violent, but didn't feel the rage to kill. Eventually, they saw the cultist and the kid together, confused why both the cultist and the kid was there. Eventually, the round started. They went through killer, running, attacking, and just sitting there not knowing what to do. Eventually, they just accepted this new lifestyle. Their movesets are a flyaway ability that allows them to fly in the sky temporarily to get to different areas in the map. And also their second ability is a scratch with their claws against the killer. This will actually stun the killer and slow them down as well. And also they have a screech ability that can actually blind the killer as well if they're a bit too close. And if they're not close enough, the screech will just show where they are and show where the killer is. So yeah, that'll actually be a pretty cool ability as well. And since these are pretty good abilities, I thought, why not make this character even more jacked and overpowered by giving them a bit more HP than the other survivors, since they're actually supposed to be a dangerous monster. I chose to give them 175 health and 112 speed. So, yeah, this character is very overpowered, but since they're very overpowered, they're going to be super expansive compared to the other survivors and killers. They're most likely going to be in the thousands rank, along with the other killers, but they'll be a survivor. Anyways, that's basically it. No connections, no special voice lines. That's basically it for them. They're just a very overpowered character that I thought would be very cool that I just added in there. Anyways, let's move on to the next character. And this is connected to nostalgia, YouTube, and video games.
Hey, Daddy, doesn't Sean walk funny?
Yeah, that little kid, he's crazy.
Yeah, how does he do that?
Oh, it's easy. Let me teach you.
FGTV has been added. I'm not sure if this is Sean or one of FGTV Daddy's other kids. I haven't watched their channel in so long. I really should be caught up on the story of him. But I did see a couple TikToks he'd been making. And it looks like he retired from YouTube by the looks of it. But I'm not sure which kid this is. I'm pretty sure it's, I don't remember the names. Jeez, that's how long I haven't watched it. But I don't think this is Sean. I think this is the other one. But basically his story is after playing Roblox for so long, he noticed this new game that he hasn't played, and when he clicked on it, he got sucked in, and he thought he was just in a virtual reality world. So he just played the role as the killer, eventually losing his sanity and just killing without thinking. And after seeing all the blood and stuff, he just didn't care anymore. He just knew it was a game in his eyes because he played several games like this with his dad. So he just kept on killing, and killing, even after he saw his own dad. His abilities are a Minecraft sword hit that can actually do flame damage on it. That's just normal. So that's a pretty dangerous normal punch, if you ask me. You can also use a lava bucket to actually block your way out. And it actually doesn't really block up after you walk into it. It just sits there permanently until the killer uses it again. So you can just get permanently trapped there. But there's also another ability that actually stops the killer from actually doing this. The killer actually drops potion effects on the ground that can actually not really be useful to them for some cases, because if they get a healing item or like a protection item, that just gets dropped on the floor for the survivors to pick up randomly. But if they get a slowness potion or a weakness potion, that can actually help them by not getting stunned when they throw it on the survivor. That can actually do damage to them and stun them. And they can actually throw the slowness on the survivors that can actually run faster with one of their abilities. So that seems like a pretty cool effect. But it only works sometimes in some specific maps, because some maps are a little bit too small to actually do that. So yeah, I feel like that would be a nice mix to add in. And also there's actually one more actual attack that can actually be used aside for the other two I just said, and the ability that just happens randomly. And that's just the game randomizer. This actually switches the map you're on and resets the timer, but it only happens after you haven't gotten a kill for the entire round, and you're just about to lose the round, and then you're able to use it. But you can only use it once, so it's not that overpowered, but it is a bit overpowered. Since this is a super overpowered killer, it's gonna be super expensive. I'm thinking like I don't know, 9,000 coins or something. What, I don't know the currency thing they're saying for it. But yeah, 9,000, and that's basically the origin story as well. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Pop your belly out, put your zombie arms up, put a bowl between your legs. Now let me teach you how we strut. Belly out, zombie arms, bow legging out, walk like Sean. Belly out, zombie arms, bow legging out, walk like Sean. Belly out, zombie arms, bow legging out, walk like Sean. Belly out, zombie arms, bow legging out, walk like Sean. That baby, he funny, the way he pop that tummy. That baby, he funny, the way he pop that tummy. That baby, he funny, the way he pop that tummy. That baby, he funny, the way he pop that tummy.
Now we have FGTV Daddy. You would have known this if you pay attention to this other killer that I don't know their name because I am not educated on FGTV these days, and one of the other characters that I talked about earlier. Anyways, his origin story is pretty much the same of his kid. He was just looking around on Roblox. He found this game, and he got sucked into it. But he got sucked in before his kid, so a bit of a time gap right there. And he basically is just trying to tell his kid that this isn't a game and they need to escape. But his kid just thinks he's trying to trick him to win. And yeah, that's basically it. His abilities is to throw his his shark to actually paralyze the killer and stun them for a bit, and then his shark swims back over to him. And his second ability is to actually throw, pick up any item off the ground that you don't usually see, like one of the dead bodies in the Bacon versus Guess War, just one of the pizza boxes or cups in the pizza map, or any other random item. He can even pick up the pizza Elliot throws and the bombs that Trap throws to actually throw them at survivors and the killer to actually help out. So I think that's a cool ability. And that's basically it for his abilities. So that's basically everything. His speed and health is normal and not overpowered or anything. But he does have a voice line, and I would say it right now, but I don't feel like it. Whatever, why not? Voice line, cut right now. Son, please, you have to listen. This isn't a game. And since he doesn't really have that any attacking moves, he'll say that when he throws a bomb at the killer. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Hey, Daddy, doesn't Sean walk funny?
Yeah, that little kid's crazy.
Yeah, how does he do that?
Oh, it's easy. Let me teach you. Pop your belly out. Put your zombie arms up.